Good morning. Good morning, BSB. I'm Jitixa from the Profitable Small Business. It's a little bit like New Year's Eve today, right? With it being the end of the financial year. So tomorrow, wishing you all a happy new year. How bizarre. I do feel like it's a little bit like that for me. Having so many years in corporate where the end of the financial year is like the big deal. So I hope you are all well. I'm sitting in my cozy office again today, not out and about. Not yet anyway. So today I want to talk about automating your numbers because it's a really important part. I don't know if you read the text, but data entry is a little bit yawn, right? No one really wants to spend all their time doing all that. And there's so much value in the numbers. Like I say, week after week, the value is there for sure. But if you're a creative person or you're into the sales side of things, or if you're a coach or a consultant, you don't really want to be sitting there punching in some numbers on a weekly basis. It's pretty dry. Even for me, like a numbers person, that's not really the best use of my time. But there's value in it. There's value in that activity, or the results of that activity. So try and automate as much as you can. Now, if you have systems in place, perfect. Use the systems. Try and make sure you're utilizing its functionality. I'm not just talking accounting softwares, where you can automate things as much as possible. Like, for example, I don't know, where you integrate your bank account and you've got a lot of rules in place so that things kind of reconcile on a pretty automatic basis, and then you're just there checking it after, obviously, possibly your bookkeeper or accountant's doing that. So I'm not just talking about those sorts of things, but when I've spoken in the past about just the numbers and the data in your business operations, there's a lot of stuff there that you can be tracking. And again, you want to try and automate it as much as possible. So the value that you bring to that equation is the review and the action. And you're not just spending hours of time collecting, because that that's not that useful. Like, it's the actual review and the action where the value is added. So try and automate that initial process. A couple of examples. Obviously my mind goes blank at this moment. But say let's just stick to accounting software for a second. But if you want to make sure that your cash flow is okay and it's running the best that it can, then you want to automate the process of collecting the invoices that you've sent out. So again, if you've got an accounting software that has the functionality to be able to send automatic reminders to your clients, make sure that's ticked, make sure it's turned on so that you're not faffing around with that and you're just reviewing and checking that all of that money has come into your bank account. So that's a really simple example of automation. But if it's something outside of the scope of the accounting software, then again, you can still automate things. Now, say if you've got inventory, some stock, and you do track your inventory, maybe you're doing a weekly or a regular some sort of stock take, then that process can also be automated. You can put in your lead times, you can put in some of your stock values, etc. And you can utilize whichever system you're using, whether it is a proper system or your own DIY things, so that it flags up and it alarm bells rings, or it tells you when you need to restock or reorder. So those little things, you don't want to be waiting until you've completely run out of stock. These sorts of kind of proactive things that you can do to automate that, and you can kind of work out what your stock turnover is. That also kind of raises quite a few questions, going off tangent here for a second, but you can, when you're doing that review, rather than wasting time on doing some of those automatic activities that you can set up, you can actually review and say, okay, what's obsolete, what's not selling very well, what can I get rid of, what can I put on sale, what do I need to push, what are my best sellers? Like, you've now got more time to review and take action rather than just doing the doing. If you are tracking other parts of your day, like waste or time on something, you can try and automate where possible. So again, like I said, if you've got systems in place, make sure you know what functionality you have in there, so you're just doing the review and action. If you're a little bit more DIY and you're doing everything a bit more manually, like there are ways to make things better. Now, I'm going to use Excel spreadsheet as an example because that's my go-to. But even in those sorts of scenarios where you are just using a spreadsheet, and a lot of small business owners are still doing that, and it's totally fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If that's, you know, I've worked in some pretty big global companies, and we still, still used Excel spreadsheets. So don't think there's anything bad in doing that. But if you are using it, again, try and do things as automatically as possible. Like if you're there typing in each number manually, is there a better way for you to do something? Is there like some formulas that you can use, some macros? Something that I do for my clients quite often is to automate as much as I possibly can for them. So all they're doing then is spending their time doing the review and the action, because that's the only way that you're going to actually move forward. You're going to get, like, if you're spending hours, a couple of hours a week just doing like the data entry side of things, you're going to get bored pretty quickly, and then you're going to lose that momentum on what you can actually do with it. So automate as much as you can. Like I said, systems, great, find out what you can do automatically, but there are so many solutions out there that you can implement. And it is a time, and this is actually a perfect time to, if you haven't already started, to do some of these reviews. Like, what can I do better? New financial year starting tomorrow, which is amazing. And just see, like, is there a lot of time wasted on stuff that we don't really need? So have a look at what you're doing. Is there a way of making things quicker, saving you time so you can go home and spend it with your lovely family? So automate as much as you can. That will help you build the momentum to keep going. And the more you do that, the more you'll find that, you're able to see the value in the numbers rather than just doing it, and then you can make those little changes. And like I said last week, you got to be willing to look and make those changes. It's all well and good you collecting this data, collecting this information, but if you're still of the mindset, well, this is the way I've always done it, so why bother, then it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to make those changes and to grow your business to the next level. So make sure you are willing to make those changes. And that's it really. It's quick, a simple one. This is something I do. This is pretty much majority of what I do, like simplifying processes for my clients, making things as quick and easy for them so that they can kind of concentrate on their skill set, what they're best at doing, rather than the things that make them yawn, basically. If you have any questions, please do get in touch. Like, if there's things that you're not sure whether you could do better, let me know. We can have a quick chat. In fact, I posted on Saturday that I have my end of financial year sale, which I've extended to most of July as well. So you can literally work with me for as little as $123, which is nothing. And we can go through some of your processes, look at your numbers, see if there's opportunities for growth, opportunities for you to save some money, opportunities for you to spend your time the best way that you can. So enjoy the last day of June, the last day of the financial year. And I hope tomorrow is a celebration for the new financial year, and it's going to be a great one. It's going to be a great one. All right, I will leave it there. I will speak to you all next week, but please do message me. I am around and happy to have a conversation, happy to help with your numbers and processes. All right, I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.